Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another lecture. In today's class, we are going to cover a very easy and yet a very important topic that is called the Mendelow's stakeholders matrix. The Mendelow's stakeholders matrix is actually going to guide you that how you have to deal with your stakeholders. All right. So, the stakeholder identification is necessary in terms of assessing the source of influence over the objectives and the outcome for the business decisions of the project. You have to first assess that who are your key stakeholders. And for those who doesn't know about the stakeholders terminology, let me first explain you this. That stakeholders are all those parties, all those individual, all those businesses or anyone in this world. If you would ask them, if you as a business will ask them that whatever I do, what do you have concern? Mind your own business. So that party, that person, that individual, that organization will respond you or reply you that no, I have concern with your operations. I have concern with your business. I have concern with your activities because your activities are going to have impact on my life. All right, on my activities, on my businesses. All right, either in good way or bad way. That doesn't matter. But if your organization is having an impact on someone, that is the person who is your stakeholder. But now the thing is that not all stakeholders are important for us because there are many people in the world. Even in your life, in your world, there are many people, but you are not concerned about everyone, right? You don't care about everyone. You care about only those who you love. You care about only those who are actually important for you. And Mendelow is also telling you that there are few stakeholders that you need to actually identify and take care of. All right, because these stakeholders are going to influence a pressure on you. They are going to put the influence over your decision makings. So you have to take care of them, because if you will do something that will actually piss them off, you will have to face the consequences. All right, and if they are powerful stakeholders, you have to make sure that you never ever piss them off. You always keep them happy so that they give you the good relaxation and good dealings with you. So that's the thing that you need to actually mention, or you need to evaluate. And that is what the Mendelow stakeholders matrix is telling us, that you need to actually identify the sources of influence. The sources of influence are who? They are your key stakeholders. All right, and we will see who are your key stakeholders. All right, so now Mendelow actually explained you something. Mendelow actually explained that you know there are some stakeholders. Every stakeholder has some power and has some interest in your business. These are the two things which they, the power which they can exert on you, the interest they have in your business. These are the two things that you have to focus on. All right, so the Mendelow is saying that the stakeholders having the higher power, and also the higher interest, they are going to exert a great amount of pressure on you. They are going to exert a great amount of pressure on you, on your decision making. They will make sure that you do not make any decision that will cause harm to them. All right, and they will make sure that you make all the decisions that are favorable for them. All right, because they have power and they have interest in your business, and no one wants to get harmed, right? So the stakeholders who have the higher power and the higher interest in your business, they will exert great pressure on you. They will make sure, or they will try their best that you do not do anything that actually cause harm to them. All right, but the Mendelow is saying that the power it actually, sir, you are saying the great power. What do you mean by power? Power means that how much they can influence you, how much impact they can create on you. That's their power. All right, if there is someone who cannot have any impact on you, who cannot have any influence on you, you say that person doesn't have any power, just ignore it. All right, so the Mendelow is saying same thing, that you have to see that which person can actually influence you and create the impact on you. That person has the power. But it doesn't mean that all the stakeholders which have power also have the interest in your business, because sometimes there are powerful people, there are powerful businesses, there are powerful organizations or people in the society. They are powerful. If they want, they can have a good impact on you, but they have no interest in your business. They are just good in their life. So the Mendelow is saying that okay, if they do not have the interest in you, although they have power, but they do not have the interest, they are not going to create a great pressure on you. All right. So that's what the Mendelow is saying, that you have to identify that, and you have to identify the areas of conflict. You know, if there is conflict, that means they have interest, and your interest and their interest is in conflict. And also there is going to be then tension between your favor and their favor, and you have to manage this thing, right? And how you're going to do this, let's look at them. So the Mendelow is giving you the matrix. Mendelow has given you the matrix, and in that matrix Mendelow is saying that you have to talk about the level of interest, all right, and the power of the stakeholders. You know, in level of interest we have low and we have high, all right, and also in power we have high and low. So Mendelow is saying that if there is a stakeholder, there is a group of stakeholder or any kind of stakeholder, those whose power is low and also they have a very little interest in your business. Those who have low power and they have a very little interest in your businesses, they are the one for whom you don't need to do efforts. They require the minimal efforts. They require the minimal efforts. For example, if there is an employee, if there is an employee who has given you the resignation, who has given you the resignation, and that employee is on his notice period. Notice period means, you know, the 1 month notice period with which the employee gives to the organization before resigning, you know, before leaving the organization. So now that employee actually has very little power, and that employee is not interested in the business. Now he's just, you know, passing his time, 1 month, one last month, the honeymoon period in the organization. So, you know, the organization will not do any effort to keep that employee satisfied or happy, because they know that person is leaving. He have no interest with us, and he doesn't have any power. So don't need to do anything for it, right? So the Mendelow is saying the same thing, that for group A, the minimal effort people, that means that you have to put minimal effort for them, right? So he's saying minimal effort is required or needed to try to keep the stakeholders informed or satisfied. You don't need to do any effort for them. And you know, similarly, if the stakeholder power is low, but the stakeholders interest is high, power is low, but the interest is high. Now, in that scenario, the Mendelow is saying keep them informed. Keep them informed. For example, the power is low, but the interest is high. Who can they be? They can be, they can be your, let's say, workers who are not part of union, all right, who doesn't have the strong union. Maybe retail your retail shareholders, those who have very, you know, small amount of shareholding in your company. So because of their small amount of shareholding, they do not have any much much power, but they have huge interest because they have made investment in your company. So that Mendelow is saying that keep them informed, you know, just keep them informed. Whatever you are doing, whatever the decision you are making, make by yourself. You don't need to consider them, but once you have made the decision, just inform them. All right, that is the that is the little effort that you need to do. Just inform them. So about what is happening and why is happening, just inform them, keep them informed. Above it, you don't need to do anything. And you know, if there is a stakeholder who has high power, you know, the stakeholder can have a good impact on you, but the level of interest is low. In that scenario, the Mendelow is saying that keep them satisfied, because they have high power and they do not have any interest. Do not do anything which attracts their interest, and they start teasing you, they start poking you. Just keep them busy in their life, keep them satisfied. Who can they be? So they can be your government organization, your anti-money laundering organization, your taxation authority. Just keep them satisfied. If you know they have high power, they can create a huge impact on you. Just give them what they need, keep them satisfied so they stay away from you, they don't come and participate or involve into your business activities and poke you and disturb you, right? So the Mendelow is saying that keep them satisfied, essential to avoid any situation that will increase the stakeholders interest and persuade stakeholders to exercise its power. It's like a sleeping bear. It's like a sleeping bear. All right. So the bear is sleeping. Keep him sleeping. Do not wake him up, because if you wake the bear, that bear is going to cause a lot of trouble for you, right? Then there is the last group of stakeholders, or the stakeholder, those who have the high power and also the high interest in you. Who they are? They are your senior management, they are your board of directors, they are your majority shareholders, they are your technical resources, also they are your workers. But now they, here they were not part of union, now they are part of union, so now they have huge power and they have the high interest in your business. So now the Mendelow stakeholders is saying, Mendelow's matrix is saying they are your key players. They are your key players. So, key players, and it is essential to obtain and keep their support. Whatever the decision you are going to take, whatever the activity you are going to do, whatever you are going to do, make sure that you take their approval, you take their acceptance. Because if you would do anything that they do not agree or they do not like, they are going to exert the power and they are going to create the problems for you. Maybe they can remove the directors, then maybe they can fire you, maybe they can wind up the company. All right. So always take care of them. If they are going to, your customers, they have the interest in your business and they have huge power. If you dissatisfy your customers, you know what will happen. I don't need to tell this thing, right? Your key supplier. All right. So these are the actual stakeholders, your employees, directors, senior managers, your shareholders. They are your key players and you need to take care about them. If they are dissatisfied, believe me, you can only have a place in hell. Otherwise they will not spare you. So I hope that I was able to explain this model to you, that how you are going to manage the stakeholders, right? This model is actually about managing the stakeholders regarding each and every activity or decision which you are going to take in your organization. So take care of yourself. See you all in the next lecture. Allah Hafiz.